So the next one is to create a collision rectangle, and this is going to be kind of straightforward because we can just rip out the stuff from our player class. So let's create a new item. It's going to be a header file, call it CollisionRectangle. We're going to have a left collision, left, right, top, bottom, like our player class, so I'm going to copy and paste that into here. We'll need to include rectangle.h, which has units in it, so that's good enough. And then we also need a, instead of just units of game delta, we'll also need x and y. So that should be all we need. I'm going to create a constructor for it that will take in 4 different rectangles so that we can create our collision rectangle based on that. So let's do that. Collision rectangle, and take in const rectangle top left, top, bottom, left, and right. And then I'm also going to store these into some internal stuff, and it's just going to be so that we can construct our collision rectangle at the very beginning. So private, some rectangles, top, left, top, bottom, left, right. And then we'll initialize those. There we go. Oops, did left twice. Now we'll need to implement these left collision, right collision, top collision, and bottom collision. I'm just going to reference our player CC. I'm not actually going to use it. So we'll start with our left collision. I'm going to actually leave the asserts in place. So let me include assert too. So let's return a rectangle for a left collision. The first position is going to be x plus our left, left. So our left rectangle's left. And then we're also going to add on to it delta, because delta is positive again, remember that. So let's assert that delta is positive. So assert delta is greater than or equal to 0. So after that we'll add delta. We'll do y plus left dot top, and then left dot width plus delta, and then left dot height. Just want to verify that this is, sorry, delta is less than or equal to 0, my bad. See, this is why it's going to take a long time. So this should be plus delta because delta is negative, so it shifts off to the left, and then we subtract delta because delta is negative, so we add to the width. Okay. Let me just look at the right collision, study it for a second. Okay, yeah, so we'll do this again. This will be faster because I know what I'm doing now. Delta is greater than or equal to 0. We'll do x plus right this time, dot left plus. We don't need to add on delta, so nothing there. So plus right dot top, right dot width plus delta. Again, delta is positive this time, so right dot height. Top collision, assert that delta is less than 0. I'm going to copy and paste. This will be kind of dangerous. Instead of left, we'll do top. And instead of adding delta to the x, we'll add it to the y. And instead of subtracting from the width, we'll subtract it from the height. Finally, our bottom collision, and then we're done. So yeah, I'll just copy this. Delta is greater than or equal to 0. Top becomes bottom. And then instead of adding delta to our top, we don't do anything with our top. But instead of subtracting delta to our height, we add delta because now delta is positive. Okay, I think we are done with collision rectangle, so we can mark that off of our list. So now let's have our player use this collision rectangle. So let's go into player CC and include collision rectangle.h. And then we'll create a k collision rectangle. We're going to do it instead of k collision rectangle y and x. So let's just do it down here and then reference these values. And then we just need to construct 4 rectangles, the top and the bottom. So the top is going to be a rectangle starting at k collision y dot top, or k collision y top, I guess. It's y, so it's going to be top left for its x and k collision top for its y. Y top for its y. Its width is going to be k collision y top width, as we see here. And then its height is going to be half of the k collision y height. I'll just do 15. Now I'll do k collision y height divided by 2. We have the constants, why not use them? So that's our first rectangle. Second rectangle is bottom, I believe. So it's top, bottom, left, right. So the bottom is going to be k collision y bottom left. Top plus k collision y height divided by 2. We'll add this over here. Bottom width. And again, k collision y height divided by 2. Oh, this is not units of game. That's why it's giving me errors. This is collision rectangle. So next rectangle is left. This is going to be at 6, 10, and then it's 10, 12. I'm getting those numbers from up here in k collision y, except I'm cutting the width in half. And then the right triangle, or right rectangle, is 6, and then, or 16, I mean, because we add one width, and then 10, and then again 10 and 12. I think that's it. So now let's get rid of our k collision x and our k collision y. And then we'll start with k collision x. and change these to, oh, we do need to implement the bounding box for our CollisionRectangle.h. So let's do that. So let's do rectangle bounding box const. So we'll just return a rectangle, giving it starting at the left, and the top, and it'll have a width of left.width plus right.width. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this. We're just encompassing this whole 4 rectangle thing. So top.height plus top or bottom.height. Okay, now back to player. So we want to change these kCollisionX.left to, so kCollisionX.left will become kCollisionRectangle.boundingBox.left. Same with width. For this is for our this is for our damage rectangle. So our damage rectangle is basically the bounding box plus our position. We'll change this top to be top, and this height to be height. Here we're using left collision, right collision, top collision, and bottom collision. Let's get rid of these now. And then when we call left collision, and all of these we can do kCollisionRectangle dot, and then we also need to pass in the x and y. And do that for all of our left collisions, all of our right collisions, all of our top collisions and bottom collisions. Let's build so we can see where the other errors are. Oh, not passing in x, kinematics x dot position. Shoot. kCollisionX, so let's take care of kCollisionX next. Anytime we see kCollisionX.right, that should be the bounding box instead. So kCollisionRectangle dot bounding box anytime we see kCollisionX, and I think we'll see that might have cleaned it all up. Indeed that did, but we still have this kCollisionY top and kCollisionY height in here that I'd like to change. Actually, I'm just going to test this now. Should still be everything the same. Okay, everything's the same, but we still need to get rid of this kCollisionY top and this kCollisionY height, because obviously other other objects like the experience drops are not going to have these constants, so let's get rid of those. So to do that, let's start here at K-collision Y top. So if we are colliding with the bottom, then we want to set our position to the row and then subtract the bottom. So we'll do K-collisionRectangle dot bounding box dot bottom. And we'll do the same thing down here when we collide with a bottom, which is down here. Up here, instead of adding the height, this kind of assumes right now that our tile is, or what we're doing is exactly one tile in size. So I'm gonna change this to be row plus 1 minus our top. Bounding box dot top. And same thing down here. I think I might be doing the same kind of assumption in the X. When we add our right side, we should do plus 1 and then subtract our left side, I believe. So we'll change these rights to be lefts and see how this works. Well, it built, that's something, so get rid of that. That's still working. Let's check the right side and the top side. Yeah, everything's still working. So let's just make sure that I got all of these constants out of the update method. I'm just gonna find and search all of them, I guess. So not quite. Our head bump particle still relies on it, so we can just do plus the bounding box here and here. I think that's everything. And that is everything. So let's build and run, and we can call this step done. Actually, let me make sure I can still collide with the back because we changed that too. Yep. Everything is making me happy.